Hi guys. So I've never tried this function, the go live function before. So besides the fact from it feeling really strange just talking to myself, I thought I would give it a go and talk to you a little bit about why I've signed up for the ride for the third time, despite the fact that I do not like cycling at all. So if anyone does jump on, let me know so I'm not by myself. So otherwise, Hands Across the Water. So I found out about Hands Across the Water, and you have all heard for the last few years now about Hands Across the Water. Since I've signed up. Sorry guys, this is very daunting. Okay, so 3 years ago, just over 3 years ago now, I heard about Hands Across the Water. I was sitting at a business conference with Business Blueprint. Dale Beaumont, who runs Business Blueprint, had previously been on a ride. And, oh, hang on, let me just turn my sound off so that doesn't interrupt us. Sorry, hang on one sec, bear with me. Okay, so I heard about the ride. Now, they showed us a video from the previous ride and explained a little bit about, oh, there's people on here. Hey, guys. They showed us a bit of a video about one of the previous rides that they had been on. Now, being a mother myself and also running a business as a nanny agency, so I deal with children every day. Naturally, at the end of the video, I was crying. And it left me with the thought of, what can I do? Where do I sign up? I'm in. Count me in. Little did I know what was actually involved with the ride. I thought raising $5,000, no problem. I'll just chuck that up on social media. I'll have that raised within a couple of days. Not quite as easy as that, as I have learned to find. Oh, hi guys. So the last two rides, what I found is that $5,000 is a lot to raise. And when I put up the link originally, you know, I know myself, if I had seen somebody post something like that, I would be thinking $5,000 seems like a lot of money. You know, if I only have $20 to spare, what's really my $20 going to be, you know, going to help towards your $5,000 goal? It seems pretty unachievable. But then what else I found is the last two rides, and now this one as well, it's actually taken me a good 9 to 10 months to raise $3,500. Now, whether that's, you guys would have seen me walk for 24 hours on the treadmill, which was fun for all, except for me. You would have seen me dress up as a banana suit and selling smoothies. You would have seen last year selling lots of chocolates. Christian and I would be walking the streets selling chocolates. He's the biggest advocate of his mum and this charity, and he would be out there selling door-to-door chocolates, telling everything about what we're doing. But both, and obviously now with the trivia nights, you would have seen that. We tried the winery tour, didn't work so well, but the trivia nights were a success. Also, excuse the fact that I talk 100 miles an hour. I apologize for that. I'm a bit nervous. But then what I found is once I get down to the last 1,500, that seems to go in just a few days. And I think why that is because I think once we get down to that last, you know, $1,000, $800, $700, suddenly it becomes an achievable goal. And suddenly your $20 that you might have spare, it now is going, you can see that it's going towards the end goal, and you can see that donating that money is going to make a difference. But why have I signed up for a third ride when cycling is not my strong point? And anyone who has seen me on the ride, yeah, look, I do a little whinging. There's been times where I've vomited. There's been times where I've just cried. There's been times that I've sung along the rides as well. But cycling is not something that I enjoy. But so why would I be doing it for a third time if this is not something that I enjoy? Well, Hands Across the Water. So you all would have seen the 2004 Boxing Day tsunami. Now, it absolutely devastated Thailand and the world and the people watching. But one man that it particularly devastated was Peter Baines. Now, he was the head forensic investigator. Correct me if I'm wrong, Peter, but his job was basically to identify all the bodies following the tsunami. Now, once he got there, there was about 4,000 bodies laid out on the ground, and I believe he got there a week after the tsunami, and the bodies had already begun to decompose, which you could just imagine the scene there and surrounding Thailand and Khao Lak, which was the worst affected area. You could just imagine the scenes going on there, and that was something that really stuck with him. Something else that really stuck with him, Bowie, commenting on my singing. Yes, there were a few Disney songs sung at the last ride, and no doubt this time as well. So something else that really stuck with Peter was this lady that he had seen, and she had some children with her. I think there was 12. And Peter had seen her a few times now. He could see the local community helping them out with food, shelter. They were pretty much just under a tent that they had created under a tree. And he went up to this lady and he said, "Surely these can't all be your children." And she said, "Actually, they are now. They've lost all their family in the tsunami. These are my children now." Now, Peter went home back to Australia after he finished. And it didn't sit right with him. And he came home and he's quoted being saying, we can't change what happened, but we can change what happens next. So over a phone call, Hands Across the Water started. Now, within 12 months, they had built the first orphanage, Bantham Nam Chai. And at the time, I believe 36 children moved into that orphanage. Now, fast forward, here we are in 2017, 116 children call that place home now, which is incredible. And we're lucky enough when we finish the ride to end the ride at that orphanage. Now, if you've been friends with me on Facebook for a while now, you would have seen the scenes that we arrive in, and 116 children standing out in front of the orphanage, cheering and clapping and singing and music, and 50 riders crying and hugging and high-fiving, and not only very happy that we won't be riding bikes anymore, but also overwhelmed with what we've just done, the money that we've raised, and now meeting the faces of the children that we've been helping and supporting, and all of you guys out there donating. You then also get to see where the money is gone. Now, Christian and I were really lucky that after last ride, we got to spend some time, a couple of weeks at the orphanage, just volunteering there. We got to live there. We got to hang out with the children every day. And the best part about that was we got to really see what goes on behind the scenes, see where the money goes, see the kids happy in their natural environment, see them at school, see them helping and sharing. And it's just incredible, and we actually sponsor a child there. You would have seen my little Ochi, which we're very excited to go back to. But you can't explain really that feeling when you put the bike stand down for the last time. And it's not just because you don't have to ride your bike again, which, although is a good feeling, that's not the feeling that's the most overwhelming. The most overwhelming is the fact that last year, we raised $350,000. Now, that is an incredible amount of money, especially in Thai baht. And the year before, 300,000. And so that just makes me excited for this year to see, whoa, where are we going to get to this year? Another really important story that I think is good to share is a home up in northern Thailand. It's called Home Hug. And that is an orphanage that was already established before Hands Across the Water came. And it's an orphanage for children that are HIV positive. Now, these children are HIV positive mostly through sexual abuse, which is really awful to even consider, especially as a mother, just to imagine what that they've gone through to, get this disease is heartbreaking. You don't even want to think about it. But sometimes I forgot what I was going to say. Okay, I'll go back to what I was saying. Sorry, guys. So yes, this orphanage is just for children that are HIV positive. Now, before Hands Across the Water found out about them, they had really low funding. basically they could afford food or medication, but not both. So they bought food naturally so the children didn't starve. But on average, there was now I'm going to cry, guys. There was 2 children dying a week from AIDS because they didn't get the medication. And May Through, the lady that runs the orphanage, she has buried over 1,200 children in her time, which is unimaginable. You can't get your head around that. 2 children a week. Hands Across the Water found out about them in 2010. Since 2010, the last 7 years, not a single child has died since. So that is a really, really amazing fact. And a really amazing story of just how important this funding is. Although, sure, the tsunami was such a long time ago, people start to forget, but these communities, and especially these children, they still need this funding. The running costs of all Hands Across the Water projects are $1.5 million a year. So when you really put that into perspective of our $300,000 that we raise, or $350,000, sure, this is a huge, significant amount of money, but in the scheme of things of 1.5 million, it's still nothing. So you can imagine why they need to run, I think there's like 10 rides a year. That information might not be correct, but there's quite a few rides a year. So though that story especially, obviously I, was just crying, but that story especially really, really gets to me. And when I'm riding, and when I'm struggling with the fundraising, and when I don't want to get out on the bike and practice, or, I start to think, oh, do I want to do the ride again next year? That story alone is what gets me signing up again, and gets me raising another $5,000, and gets me back on the bike, and pushes me through those times when, last year the highest temperature was 52 degrees on the bike. Now, when it gets to like 40 degrees here, we don't even want to go outside. We stay in the air conditioning. And we were riding from like 7 in the morning until 5 at night. So that story is what sticks with me when I want to stop the ride and when I want to give up. And to know that, this ride definitely has been the hardest for me to fundraise, and I totally get it. The first ride, it's new and exciting, and everyone wants to support, and everyone has been so supportive, do not get me wrong. But of course it's hard, I understand. Third time around, everyone's kind of like, really, Nikki? Like, are we going broke? Stop with the fundraising. But now I think, that why these behind the scenes stories that you might not have heard before, and my why of why I'm writing. Maybe that will resonate with you guys as well. In saying that, I only have $1,000 to go, which is so close. Hey, Carly. I only have $1,000 to go, which is so exciting. And as the theme of the last 2 years, we know that should only take me 3 days to raise. I'm hoping to get there much sooner because I'm starting to stress out. We've got a week left to raise $1,000 now. We had a really cool fundraiser on the weekend. We had the trivia night. We raised another $700. One of my really amazing friends and past riders, Kimmin, today donated $500. Now, when I got that email, I was at swimming lessons. When I got the email to say he had donated $500, I was crying at swimming lessons. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, this girl cries all the time. No, I'm just so passionate about this, Hands Across the Water, and this cause. And yes, you'll probably see me cry again when I finish the ride, or probably during, because I will want to give up, but I won't. But yes, what I'm trying to get across here is we only have $1,000 left to go. And now you know a little bit about why I'm writing, maybe your $20 or $25, $30, even $5, honestly. We're at the stage now where that is going to make such a huge difference and creep me towards my goal. And I'm going to get there, and I'll probably cry again when I reach 5,000. So thank you for the people that were watching. It's great to have you here, because I honestly thought that I still kind of feel like I'm talking to myself and I feel a bit ridiculous, but seeing that all these names pop up is really humbling, and I'm very, very lucky to have all of your support again and continuously. And thank you very much for every like, every comment on all the posts about Hands Across the Water. It really motivates me and encourages me. And I love to take you all on this journey with me. So I actually don't know how to finish a live video, so you just bear with me for 1 sec. All right, I've got it. All right, so thanks guys. And we only have 3 weeks to go and 1 week to raise the rest of the money. So yeah, even, you know, make your coffee at home tomorrow and save your $5 and pop $5 in the account, or not, it doesn't matter. But either way, the money will be raised, and it'll happen. So thank you again, guys, for the support, and I'm going to finish it now. Thank you.